So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am Andy Curtin, and I'm sitting here with my very good... I can't call you a colleague anymore.
Yeah, partner in crime.
I think that's the most accurate possible description.
In literal crime, sometimes.
Mohammed Magdi is here. Before we get started, I am... if you want to find me online, you can look up at Andy Curtin on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And Mo, how do people find you?
At the other Mohammed on Instagram, that's where I'm most active. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook, Mohammed Magdi. And you can find me at home with my dog most of the time.
So, just very quickly, apologies to anyone that tried to listen to the live stream on Sunday. It was a bit of a train wreck. I don't know what's going on. We have to figure out the audio. But, yeah, we just got kicked out for our own podcast.
Also, shocker, you and me got together and tried to do something that didn't work.
Very publicly fell to pieces. It was such unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we tried to do a live stream with Turner Sparks, who's in New York, our other partner in crime. It's screwing things up, and it was an absolute disaster. So Turner was going to come on to plug his podcast, which you've just been on.
Yeah, I was on. It's a lot of fun. Him and Michael Arya Kaplan. Basically, their new format is going around the world talking to comedians who have like political unrest in their countries. So we're talking about the UAE.
Didn't
Israel.
talk to me.
Yeah, dude, nothing goes on in Australia.
Hong Kong. I don't live in Australia.
Yeah, well, he talked to me about the Middle East.
Nothing goes on in Hong Kong. At least that's what we legally have to say now.
They said comedians, Andy.
Oh, mate, I'm cutting you now.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Also, it turned out like, the podcast, usually the host would ask the guests like to plug their social media. And I, as a joke, said my full address in Hong Kong, thinking that he's going to bleep it out because it's not live. And he just left it in.
Turner and I come from the camp of we don't edit nothing.
Exactly. I was so shocked listening to it. I'm like, shit. So in case you don't know where I live, I guess you can go back to the episode and listen to that.
Thankfully, people had a good enough sense about your apartment that even knowing the address, no one wanted to go there.
We literally featured my apartment on a Mama Hoo Hoo video.
Several. I took a shit on a Mama Hoo Hoo video in your apartment.
That's true. And Tambi showered for real.
Tambi actually showered in a Mama Hoo Hoo video.
He was supposed to just do like a few seconds of him pretending to shower. And
he was also so ready to get naked on video.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't need you to get naked. He's like, I'll do it.
Yeah. He's like, don't get so much in character right now.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So, the thing we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
So, those of you might be under the misapprehension that Mohammed and I work at a comedy club in Hong Kong, which is no longer true.
Yeah.
We both were unceremoniously fired this week. And, the who knows what's going to happen with the club, but I would guess not much.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got a call on Monday morning. It's pretty funny because they called me and then they got Mohammed and every staff member at the venue on a Zoom call for a public execution.
Yep.
For a group. They took him out to the brick wall behind the building.
I really hope this call was recorded. I don't know if it was, but it has to be.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
I told you what my buddy said about it.
No.
He was like, they're breaking the news that you're all fired. He's like, I want you to know you're not alone. So please switch your camera to gallery view.
I also love that they did it. So they got Andy on a call and us on a Zoom call simultaneously. So at the same time, Andy doesn't know what's going to happen to us and we don't know what's going to happen to him. And also, I didn't tell you this part. On the Zoom call, it was just the one person telling us the news and everyone was silent for like 5 minutes.
I've never seen that on a Zoom call.
Exactly. And everyone was just like, and he also
like,
had this
you guys are can whoever's got a child in the background, can they turn off their microphone, please?
He goes, you guys are is this thing on? Hello?
Did he really?
No.
That would be funny.
It would have been really funny.
Because a lot of the staff are all predominantly Filipino. And didn't he ask you? He was like, so, Mohammed, did they understand what I was saying?
Yeah. Dude, he called me 2 hours after the call and we're talking about it.
We
and
just
he
want to
goes,
clarify that
Yeah.
these people understand that they no longer work at the
he
company,
goes,
right?
Did everyone understand me? Did he tell you anything? I'm like, no. He's like, I don't think they know what I said.
Yeah. They rock up on Tuesday for work.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi. You guys, you're on the Zoom call, right? Oh, no, the sound off.
Yeah. Also, he was the only person who had the camera on, so we're just like all just quiet faces, that like black screens, and him just with a big grin on his face, telling us that we're fired.
Yeah.
And it was also effective immediately. He's like, "Don't go back to the club."
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, they gave me a similar one. The funny one for me was I got a message on Monday morning saying from one of the bosses in Singapore, who I am admittedly very good friends with.
Right.
But he said, hey, man, can you get on a call in 5 minutes? And I replied, yes, unless you're firing me, in which case I'm not free until the end of the year. And then he had to call me and fire me.
So this is how many comedy clubs now, or how many venues have we effectively managed to shut down?
I would say like good venues or just venues?
Venues in general, because venues in general would be a high number.
Venues in general is a very high number.
Yeah.
But I would say, in all honesty, of serious comedy rooms that we ran, I'm going to say we've now lost 4.
Yeah, I am thinking the same number.
So
Suzhou, 2 in Shanghai, and 1 here.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
And all of them in just catastrophic ways.
Yeah.
In their own independent catastrophic ways.
Who would have known when we started planning the riff that it's going to turn up this way? Like just the
I
series of
think
events.
Anyone that reads newspapers.
No, but we planned it like earlier last year,
Mate,
where
you know
nothing
what-
was happening in Hong
You know
Kong.
what I thought about it? And here's how early we were involved in that venue. We started to close in on that venue in late 2018.
Yeah.
And I remember because I did Jim Jeffries' tour in January 2019.
Yeah.
And that was when I did the final view of the venue before we signed the lease.
Right.
And that was in January 2019.
And that's exactly my
No
point.
protests.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, beautiful, serene, peaceful place.
Lang Kwai Fong busy with tours.
Lang
the
Kwai
whole-
Fong, the busiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Now famously deserted.
Oh man,
I was saying, it's been deserted
since we moved in.
pretty much since we moved here.
Does that tell you something, Andy?
Yeah, not only do we ruin our own comedy clubs,
Yeah.
we'll ruin other already successful businesses.
Like
just with our presence.
The clubbing strip and like party strip in all of Hong Kong for years and years, and we move in and it's like dead. Oh man,
So I want to go back.
let's do it.
Let's go through. I want to go through. I'm so bummed we didn't have Tanner on this call because it would have been so great. But
Yeah.
on this recording. But let's go back through all of the gist.
Hey, how about we
Let's-
get Turner a Zoom call and then he fires us?
Yeah. Well, we just get booted off another Zoom call. No, but I want to go through all of the train crashes that have happened, the
Yeah.
major ones.
Yeah.
And the first one was the loss of. And there's so many ways we can tell this story, but the loss of the Jinshan Lu venue, massive,
Yeah.
was the first big one.
Yeah, that was
Now,
also
this was
like
a venue that we got into within the first 12 months. We started at Massey in late 2010. 2011 or 2000, maybe
I wasn't around. I
Yeah, it was
joined in 2013.
You started at Massey. That must
Yeah.
have been your first show, was there?
My first show was a small room in Massey. Like I was involved in the renovating.
And so we started out in a tiny room.
Yeah.
Then that got renovated to a larger room.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, we ended up taking the whole top floor of the venue and
Yeah.
making a pretty amazing comedy
It was
club.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I always remember
That was the first comedy club that I built.
Yeah, I always remember the Ari Shafir late show because that was one.
Oh,
of
you're
these shows
talking about, I'm talking about upstairs.
that was upstairs. The Ari Shafir late show was
No, no, no,
upstairs
no,
when
no.
he pulled out. Trust me, when he pulled out his notebook and he goes, "What do you guys want to
Mate,
talk about?"
you're misremembering. It was in the small room. I'll tell you 100%.
Mm.
So what we used to do when we had once a month we'd fly in a big headlining act, and we would take there were 2 floors of Massey.
Yeah.
We would take over the whole downstairs of the bottom floor
Yeah.
for the early show,
Yeah.
and then on the same floor in the comedy room we
Yeah.
would move in for the late show. That's where Ari did his show. I'm not
Okay.
50-50 on this. I'm 100%
Yeah,
on
okay.
that. In fact, I
Fair.
can tell you every show. Dude, this is how tight the timing was.
Yeah.
We ran 2 comedians. Actually, do you know what it was? It was, we had, the room got set up while I was on the road with Kyle Grooms,
Yeah.
and Klosik was living with us.
Yeah. I remember that.
And he did the top room when it first got built. I think he closed an open mic there on like a
Yeah.
Wednesday. And then Kyle Grooms had his weekend in there. And that
Yeah.
was it. That was like, we're doing it.
Yeah,
We've made
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We've made a comedy club. We just sold out two or three shows in it.
I remember that was the first big headliner was Kyle Grooms. and
Kyle
it was
Grooms.
just- It was beautiful.
It was amazing. And we've
and we
done
had
it.
the bar to the
Dude, you
left
could see
of
all
the
the
stage.
windows. You could see
Yeah.
the city, and funnily enough, from that window, you could see the building that I worked in the last job I had before I did comedy, which
Really?
was pretty traumatic.
Oh, I didn't know
job
that.
for me. And I
Yeah.
remember standing there looking at that building, being like, "Ha!
Look at me.
I got ya!" And boy, did they get me!
Do you think that's your company was called Zoning Issues?
Oh my god, the permanent zoning issues. So there's a long way to tell that story. I don't even think we have enough time for today. But
Yeah.
long story short, we actually, before we even had a venue, we nearly imploded because we bought Butch Bradley out.
Yeah.
We flew out a resident comedian for 10 months.
Yeah.
An LA professional named Butch Bradley, and we were just losing so much money. And the way that I pulled us out of it was I got someone to invest in a comedy club and sold them on this idea, like, we've got this pro, let's build a room for them and make it really great.
Yeah.
And that is a whole nother story, getting to that point,
Yeah.
which we don't even need to get into, but that was like a whole ridiculous story, culminating in that comedian booking himself outside of our agreement
Yeah.
in a theater the week that we were signing the contract, inviting the person signing the contract to
Yeah,
invest
to
the
the
money, basically showing that the contract we'd put in front of him was meaningless for exclusivity.
Yeah.
He didn't sell any tickets. He got so drunk in this theater
He repeated the same
that
joke
he repeated
twice.
the joke, abused a woman in the audience, and had to be pulled off the stage 20 minutes into his own set. This guy's calling me at 11:30 at night being like, what is going on with your operations?
Yeah.
Had to cut that guy out immediately, but managed to still close it, built the comedy club. We physically then built the comedy club, and
Yeah, there was no building team at the time.
so I've pulled us out of the hole.
Yeah.
I've dodged that big bullet. We're there. Kyle Grooms does it. He kills. It's a great show. And then I go back to Australia
Yeah.
after a very stressful few months for a holiday.
And
for 2
then at
weeks.
the airport in Shanghai.
Nah, I wasn't at the airport.
Or was it was I think you were at some airport when it started happening. Maybe you were already in Australia.
Nah, I was already in Australia.
Yeah.
I remember I was at my parents' place,
Yeah.
and I get this message from the bar owner, who's a lovely chap, saying, as of now, we are charging every customer to be in on every show, open mics, all these free
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
and
It was
stuff.
like something like a per head.
yeah,
whatever.
Charging us, I think, a per head.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, I was like, hey, I'm on holiday right now. We've
Yeah.
just finished construction.
Yeah, we had one headliner there. That was it.
Really? Yeah. That was
Yeah.
it. One weekend.
Yeah, one weekend.
And I said, can we discuss this when I get back? This
Yeah.
is, bearing in mind, this is A, not a person I'd had conflict
Yeah.
with. B, a person whose business we'd rescued.
Yeah.
He had an unsuccessful bar that's suddenly like printing money.
Yeah.
Because the comedy was booming at that point. And I say, I didn't even say no. I said, can we talk about this when
Yeah.
I'm back? And he said, no deal, you're out. Changes, kicks us out unceremoniously, pulls down all of our signage. And I had to continue the comedy club on, move it into another venue
Yeah.
while I'm in Australia for 2 weeks. And it was, dude, I don't see my parents that often. I don't see my family that often. I had 2 weeks of literally sitting on the phone,
Yeah.
finding venues, moving shows, getting started.
So it was funny because I wasn't involved in the operational side at this point. I was
Yeah.
still just a comic, and I remember you getting everyone on the group chat and going like, "Hey, this happened.
This has just gone down.
This is just going
and
down."
it's so poorly thought out. I don't know what this guy was thinking. I don't know if he thought that all the comics
he
would
must
just
have
be
planned
so
with a couple of
st- like
guys,
the
which later we knew that was the case.
Yeah, maybe one guy.
Yes, maybe a
Um,
couple of people, I would say.
But in any
Yeah.
event, save for one lesser comic that we had, the entire lineup was like, we're never stepping foot in your venue.
Yeah.
And screwed his business, and also,
Which we eventually completely lost.
yeah, he lost that business.
Yeah.
And just a bizarre greed. And I think he was under the illusion that like he was the mastermind behind this comedy scene that was booming.
Yeah, it's also like when you have a venue like this, you just think the venue is everything and you don't know that the people are everything.
It's funny
That's
that
the
you know
problem.
everyone overvalues their contribution,
Yeah.
but you need everyone motivated. Like
Yeah.
you want to find a healthy way for people to feel like they're making a big difference. But then you know when you do have success, you get these egos, and some people are of that mind where they're like they can't have the mutual benefit. You know they've got to have this disproportionate benefit to themselves.
Yeah. But
So,
anyway, so all the
it
comics,
was
yeah.
awful, and it nearly killed the scene because we ended up in a venue that had very generous, what am I trying to
The
say?
Camel?
Yeah, the operators of that venue were very supportive.
Yeah,
and they
they
were
were
great.
great to
but it was
us,
just
yeah.
a bad venue.
It's a bad venue
We-
it's a great venue for everything else. It's
Yeah.
a popular bar, and it's good for sports. It's good for hanging out, pool tables, and all of that. It's just not a good venue for comedy.
It had a completely non-soundproofed sliding door between the comedy show and one of the busiest bars in
Yeah.
Shanghai. And this is why I hate soccer. I don't know if you remember this. So like every part of this, I am just like,
Yeah.
So like, first of all, Arsenal, the soccer
Yeah.
team, is very popular in China.
It is.
Not because they come from an interesting place, not
Just because
of
they
the
wear
place,
red
because they
jerseys.
wear a red jersey. They are simply for that because they picked the right color.
Yeah.
They're the most popular team in
Which is funny
in
because
China.
Liverpool also wears red jerseys, but no one cares about them.
Yeah, so every time and this was a sports bar.
Yeah.
So every time there's a soccer match on,
It's the biggest sports bar in Shanghai.
that was
Yeah.
shut down as well, and they would have 300 to 400 people on the other side of a non-soundproof sliding door.
Yeah.
where we're trying to run matches. I remember being at shows and like a goal would score,
Yeah.
and the show would literally, the comedian on stage would literally just have to stand there and wait for the
Not just
Jayo,
that, I
Jayo.
literally had people go outside to look at the replay of the goals and come back into the room while I was on stage.
Oh my god,
It was brutal.
dude, I have PTSD from that.
Also, I don't know if you remember that the stage was not centered in that room.
Yeah, it was in the
stage
corner.
was in the corner.
Do you know what's funny is I feel like I have a PhD in building comedy rooms now.
I agree with that. I think I would have a proper
But
what
there's
is
so many little things like that when people say, "What if we put the stage in the corner?" And I can be like, I know, I've done it. I've done that
exactly.
format.
It's just mistakes
not
that
as
you
good.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The stage was also, the height was weird. Like it was too high, as I think I remember.
yeah,
And it was not ideal.
you know,
But the staff was nice to us, like, you know, at least giving us this venue when we had not. And then we would also run the shows
Oh,
upstairs. That's
mate,
a whole other thing.
that whole process of running a show where you have to run over to the DJ and ask them
Yeah.
to turn the music down. I'm never going to put myself in that situation ever again.
So when we have the touring acts, we would have them up in the banquet room.
Oh, they had this huge
Yeah.
banquet room.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you a funny one.
There's so
many funny stories from that room. I can't remember who it was, but there was a homeless blind guy that used to play the panpipes outside that
Oh, I
bar.
remember that.
And you'd be like in the middle of a headliner show, like 200 people, and you're like, and he's like, how is he doing it out of tune? It's a panpipe. You know, there's no rhythm, there's no beat. It's just a blind guy blowing wind on this thing. Dude, I literally would go down there. I've done this twice and pull out 100 R&B and be like, in Chinese, and be like, this is 100 R&B, you're moving, and march the blind homeless guy like 100 meters down the road.
Wow, so much for reputation for being a dick, Andy.
I paid him. I paid the guy twice.
He probably didn't trust you. He's blind. He doesn't
Yeah.
know what you're giving him.
You know what? The second time I was like, maybe I should just give him 2 RMB.
Hey, here, there's an apartment
Why am I
contract.
wasting my money on this?
Exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah, here's sign here, and
Yeah.
I'll give you a full apartment
Yeah,
in
exactly.
in Sungjiang. Just go there.
No, it's in Jinxianlu.
Yeah.
So yeah, this banquet room was crazy too because it was like I think it was too big for what we were trying to do.
Yeah, we had some pretty rocking shows in there.
That's true. I remember Paul Ogata slaying.
Dude, I remember Steve Simone.
Steve Simone in a small crowd.
Dude.
One of his shows, I think the Late Show didn't have as big crowd, and he just went. He's like maybe 20 people, and we all as openers struggled.
Do you remember Quindale's show there?
Yeah,
So he had a good show, and then the Late Show, it was so weird. There was a company that my dad works with in Shanghai at the time, and he just bullied them. He's like, you're taking all of your colleagues to my son's comedy show. And they made up like half of the show, and none of them wanted to be there.
Right, yeah.
And Quinn just had to eat it on
yeah,
stage.
and Quinn is also the style of comedy that you really have to be a fan of comedy, not just a
Sure.
fan of jokes.
Yeah.
Like you have to like the art of stand-up to enjoy
Dude, I
Quinn.
could watch Quindale any day of the week. He's super
Same.
amazing.
Yeah, but I also understand that like, if someone is just like, sometimes you just want to go and see a guy tell a funny story, but Quinn doesn't really tell a story, he tells jokes. And it's different if you're not into the show.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
brutal, yeah.
So, in any event,
How long do we stay at the Camel for?
Yeah, you know what? I think it was a year between. I think it took us a year. It was a bit over a year to leave Jinshanlu and get to Shenyang Beilu.
Oh, you missed into Arc.
Yes, no. So that's why. So I think
Yeah.
it was like 10 months at the Camel,
Right.
And then like
A couple of
2
months.
months.
Yeah.
So I watching this scene that I'd spent years of my life building just crumble, and all of these great comedians just being like, well, I can't be in this city for comedy anymore, and just leave.
Yep.
So I desperately found a crappy little bar with a tiny little room.
Wait, didn't also Schaefer remind us that
Oh my
he
God.
met, we didn't know that. I think you didn't even remember that.
No, I don't know if I
He
ever
matched
knew
with
that.
the venue owner on Tinder.
So it's basically this rich Shanghainese girl whose dad had given her enough money to just go have a bar.
Right.
Her bar is hemorrhaging cash. They have no business at all.
Oh, in a great location.
It was a good
in the city.
location, yeah. And it was an old Shanghai house.
Yeah,
It was an
it-
interesting. The room was interesting.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
Actually, yeah. If everything was different,
like
I think
it
that
was
would be a cool room for comedy.
Cool.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. So many like it was the dark period for comedy.
Right,
It was
yeah.
it was rough. I put Darshan in that room.
Did you?
Yeah.
Whoa, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah, he did that room.
In front of this room completely packed would have
40
like
people?
40 is too much.
Somehow we still didn't sell it out. A lot of funny things happened in that room.
Well, first of all, if there is more than 3 people on the stairwell, it's squeaking loudly.
Oh, everything.
That you can hear
the
it.
stairwells. It's an old Shanghai
Yeah,
house. It's like a wooden house. And then also, do you remember one time the toilet was downstairs at the bottom of this narrow staircase, and Drew was hosting, and Laurent was on the toilet, and Drew's like, next comedian, Laurent Janot. And we're like, Laurent, get up here. Laurent
Can hear himself. Yeah.
doesn't realize, pisses all over the front of his pants, runs on stage with a giant wet patch on the front of his pants. Meanwhile, the crowd is dying laughing.
and he thinks
Laurent
it-
thinks he's killing.
Exactly.
He's like, oh my God, you guys are so fun. This is the best I have ever done. And he's there. We're
man.
just taking photos, putting it in the group. Like, Laurent literally just pissed his pants and is on stage right now.
Somehow wasn't even the worst thing that happened at that.
Yeah,
at
that was
venue.
miraculously like one of the better shows.
Dude, you had a full-on fight there.
More than one.
The one where Chris Musney was in town.
It was Chris Musney and Rudy Tybergsy.
Right. Who are both jacked. by
Both
the way.
jack dudes.
Yeah.
So again, I'm still flying in comics.
Yeah.
Like, that's how committed I was.
Yeah.
I'm flying in comics to the smallest comedy room on earth and bring these guys in, and we're having a beer afterwards. And this group of... So here's the thing about in China. People say Chinese people won't fight. Chinese guys will pick a fight if there's
If they're
a
if they
ratio
outnumber
of
yeah.
30 to 1.
Yeah.
That's
I've
when
seen
they'll
it
pick a
over
fight.
and over in my time there.
Yeah. And so we're in this bar. This girl running it, she's quite meek and quite small.
Yeah.
And she's just like in her little bar with her dog and like one barman. And this huge group of Chinese guys comes in and they start pushing her around and yelling at her and being mean to her. And
Yeah.
so the show's ended. Me, Rudy, and Muzni are sitting outside the front. And I just hear this commotion. So I walked in and she's getting yelled at by this dude. And I just said to her, hey, are you okay? And they just launch at me.
Yeah.
And they there was a small room at the back of the venue and they're throwing tables and chairs and they kind of got me into the small room. At which point I was like, they pushed me down as well. At which point I was like, forget, the rule is never hit a Chinese guy. Never hit a Chinese guy.
Because you
will
automatically
go
as a
to jail.
foreigner,
You will go to jail if you
you're
hit a Chinese
always
guy.
wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
You're always in the wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's happened. You will go to jail.
Yeah.
Even if you're, it's self-defense.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get to a point where I'm like, I might be in trouble here. I've been hit a couple of times and I'm on the floor. So I just go like
full on. Yeah.
I start just smacking people.
Right.
Meanwhile, Rudy and Muzni are behind a crowd of people trying to pull me out of it.
Yeah.
They grab me. I managed to take a few of them down, and then we just get out of there. And so one of them followed us into the street, and boy, did I unleash a bit of frustration on that person. Meanwhile, Rudy and Chris are just like, this is great.
This is what I've been going to the gym for years for.
Yeah. He's like, he goes, this is why you call it Kung Fu comedy.
Nice.
So that happened.
We find after that Zach, who is the manager, the guy who had the job, my job before me, he finds the Shenyang Beilu venue.
Yeah, actually, they approached me. Here's what happened was, so we used to be in the Bookworms in Suzhou, Chengdu, and Beijing.
And Beijing.
Another set of venues, beautiful venues that was shut down.
Yep.
So the guy that used to run our shows in Suzhou was actually the manager at Cartel.
Yeah. Ben. Yeah.
Exactly. So Ben messages me, lovely dude.
Yeah, Ben
and
is great.
He's like, mate, we've got a whole floor here just sitting here vacant. I think you could do shows.
Yeah.
So I go and have a look at it, and I was always very reluctant to run a bar because it's not a business that I understood. It's not a business that I'd had much experience in, running and setting up a bar.
Yeah.
And I said to them, look, I really want to do it, but you guys need to run the bar and give me a super low rent because you're going to make all this money off our customers. Yeah. And they're like, no, you build a bar, you sell a bar. Oh, that's the only way we'll do it. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And you know what? I remember walking home from a show with, of all people, Storm.
Right.
And he said to me, where do you think Kung Fu comedy will be a year from now? And I just said, mate, I think we're finished.
Yeah.
I was like, I think this is it. And he started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what a little bitch. No. No, I felt so bad. I felt this obligation.
And that's also dedication to what he likes to do.
Yeah, but I was like, I've got to find a way to figure this out. And Zach, he said, listen, man, I've made this P&L.
Yeah.
Budget for what this looks like. He's like, we don't need to sell that many drinks to make this work.
Yeah.
So I just got all the money I had left and we built this place. And it was insane. We built the place in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was built stupidly quickly.
I think it was actually like a week and I was on site. My Chinese actually improved that week.
What was the name of the builder?
So the builder was like, if we ever make this into a movie...
What's the name of the basketball
player? It was
player?
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, it's the same guy.
It was Yao Ming. His name was Yao Ming from Shanghai. And boy,
he was awesome.
Boy, he was just a total cartoon character of a human. He would, the years after we built the bar, he would just come in and expect free booze.
He wouldn't expect it. He would just grab it from the fridge.
But you know what?
And have a cigarette at the bar where it wasn't smoking wasn't allowed.
But there was something about, he was so
unapologetic
he was
in
so
who he was.
Yeah. And it was very endearing.
Oh, yeah, I loved him. Every time he comes in, I'm like, he's going to be a little bit of trouble, but it's always fun to see him.
Okay, so I'm fast-forwarding in the story a little bit, but I just want to tell this story about Yao Ming. Just perfect Yao Ming story, right?
Yeah.
So we... how do I tell this quickly? I'll tell this very quickly. So basically, we built the comedy room, right? And at the door to enter the comedy room was an office.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't have a bar.
Yeah.
So what they let us do was our bar is we put up a curtain and brought eskies out.
I
And
remember.
we would, literally in an office at a desk,
Yeah.
be handing people beers. That was our bar.
Yeah.
And it was so disgusting
Yeah.
and bad and comically unprofessional
Yeah.
that I eventually negotiated to rent
The
part of the
rest, yeah.
office. And another dude who was an architect in Shanghai that was a fan of the comedy club very generously just gave us designs for a really low amount of money. He's like, this is what you need to build a bar. Give this design to a comedy. Oh, by the way, building the comedy club, we had no plans.
Yeah,
Like
it
no
was-
design
yeah.
plans. I literally stood there with a building team and I was like, put a wall here, put a stage, and I just walked in a line. I'm like, this is what the stage is going to look. No measurements. They built the stage. I was like, it's too high. People are going to hit their heads on the roof. Had to destroy the stage and build a new stage.
I remember that.
And also, I remember they built everything, and I was like, "Oh, where are the power plugs? Like, where do we plug
Yeah.
things in?" They're like, "You need to tell. That's part
Yeah,
of the
that's
design.
true.
They're supposed to tell us that
And
before
you
we
clearly have no idea.
No, I don't know what I'm doing. I never worked in construction.
Yeah, like-
So we had to break the wall and put fucking power in.
Yeah.
The soundproofing, they didn't know how to do soundproofing. That was a whole train wreck for the whole time that we were there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so when we subsequently went to turn the office, part of the office, into a bar, which was also a horrible negotiation, I remember I'd gone out to like a flooring place in the outskirts of Shanghai with Yao Ming,
Yeah.
and picked this flooring. And I remember it was one of the last things they put in, and I remember he put it in, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta come see the flooring."
Yeah.
And I go there, and it's yellow instead of brown.
Right.
And he's standing there, Yao Ming's like smoking inside, of course.
Of course.
And he's like, "So what do you think?" And I'm looking at like, "Is this the material we picked?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Uh-huh." And I go, "It's not the material we picked." He goes, "Ah, you got me." Like,
He was just trying to get rid of his old stock.
yeah. So
He's like, the dumb foreigner won't notice.
it was yellow. So they had to remove it all
Yeah.
and then redo it. And he did it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, when we would bring him in to like fix like minor stuff, it feels like you're bothering your landlord.
Yeah, yeah.
It's exactly the same.
And I had to, everything they built, I had to stand over them and make sure that, like, literally standing over workers for over a week straight. Just, they were still building it the day that we had our first show.
Yeah.
And
It
just
also
as a-
smelled like paint,
just
by
an
the way.
example
Yeah.
of how bad we were. We didn't think about the AC.
No.
This
yeah.
had an AC unit for like 30 people in a room that we were now putting 100 people in.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest sweat pit of all time. And it was very expensive to install the ACs, actually.
Yeah, I mean, with the budget that we had, like,
No,
there was basically
no budget.
Yeah, that's right.
No money. We're all broke. So that venue, the next venue that we lost was Suzhou. And I think that was the most traumatic for me personally, because it was the realization, maybe I didn't fully realize it at the point, but it was the point at which what China had become was not going to allow us to do the thing that we'd for years thought we were going to be able to do.
Yeah, and it was also a stark reminder that you can
That
lose
we're
it
in
all.
China.
That you're in
you
China.
are
That's right.
so vulnerable.
Yeah, you're extremely vulnerable. And the best that can happen is you just lose the business, because it can always be worse. And that's another lesson that I learned. in
Yeah, you
China.
can go to prison. And I know people have been
Yeah,
put in prison.
absolutely. And you can just lose everything. I saw people
All your money.
getting arrested and their WeChat accounts get frozen immediately.
Dude.
They couldn't transfer their money out of their WeChat the second they got arrested.
Dude, I remember, I don't know if you know her, but you know Letitia, right?
Yeah.
So her business partner took a job like in marketing at that French bakery that got into trouble.
Oh, yeah. La
Right.
Farine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically they got done for using expired flour,
yeah.
but I think it was just all a stitch up.
They also arrested the GM who had nothing to do with anything.
She got arrested. She was marketing.
Yeah.
And she just started working with them.
Yeah, so they arrested a bunch of people because the main guy had stayed in France and wouldn't come back.
Yeah,
to
and
settle
then
it.
also she was put in prison, and then for a really long time they just took her passport, and she was
Yeah.
trapped. She wasn't allowed to work.
Yeah.
She had to do these like I think it was her. She had to do these like communist
Community
classes.
services or whatever.
Yeah, community services
Yeah.
and shit. And she can't earn money living in one of the most expensive cities on earth. It was just a disaster. And her whole life, she was just traumatized when she finally felt comfortable enough to tell people about what had happened to her.
Yeah.
So, it can go bad.
Yeah, in
and
Suzhou, they come in uniforms, the whole thing.
So here's
Just
what
a
happened.
reminder also, we kind of shared that story on the podcast before.
Yeah,
So,
I've talked about this
yeah,
before. So what happened for me was we had James Adomian on tour, and James, a junior guy at James's agency, and I had a little bit of conflict in the organising, and I guess that guy had told James something that meant when I met James that day,
he was already on guard.
he just wasn't friendly,
Sure, yeah.
and I was like, great, I've got to win this guy over.
Sure.
So show starts in Suzhou, which is a beautiful
Sold
room.
out too.
Yeah, packed show. And we're watching the show, and Turner goes to me, hey, that Chinese guy in the back of the room is filming. And as you do, I immediately go to walk over to him to tell him to stop. And Turner grabs my arm and goes, well, hang on a minute, he's from the Cultural Bureau.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay. So...
Which also at this point, you want to assume the best. You want to assume that it's just a guy who's doing a regular check or whatever.
We've had checks before.
Exactly. And then you're like, this is going to be fine.
We've had people come into shows and write down material.
Yeah.
It was people sitting there taking notes about the material.
About dick jokes.
Yeah. What are you adding tags?
Yeah.
Can I get your notes?
Yeah. He's like, you should try that next time.
Yeah. So we have a bit of a powwow, and we decide we need to protect Adomian.
Yeah.
So there was a back door to that venue, and we pulled him into this sort of garage area and said, hey, man, listen, the government is here filming. This could go really badly.
Yeah.
We think we should just get you safe.
And he goes, I should talk to my audience.
No, he's like, these are my fans.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
these
no
are
one
my
knows
fans.
you.
They paid money. These people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
It's Suzhou. There's nothing else to do.
The choice is this or the drunken clown.
These people have loved me their whole lives. And listen, I don't want to poop on Adomian because he was cool. But so we end up, he says, I want to go with the show. So I go on as host and I say to the audience, listen, everybody, the Cultural Bureau is here, but James wants to go ahead with the show. Should we go ahead with the show? The whole room goes, no, don't do it. And
Keep
they all
the
just
money.
get
You
up.
don't care, yeah.
They all just get up and start leaving.
Yeah.
And Adomian's like, ah. So then it's a mess. So then we're stuck with these guys and we're getting interrogated. And the advice that I got was don't hide from them.
Yeah.
Because they can find you, and if you make them have to work to find you, they will not treat.
They will make your life harder.
They'll do it worse.
Yeah.
So I end up giving them my WeChat and everything, and the logic that we had been explained to us was if you get shut down in a city, and then you're okay in the next city, it means it was local.
Yeah.
If you get and as it turned out, the problem had nothing to do with us. It was a rivalry between bars.
Yeah. It
that
was
were
someone
reporting each
reported.
other.
Yeah.
And actually, the bar
We
had
just
been,
got caught in the crossfire.
The bar had been raided twice that week
Yeah.
for other stuff. So anyway, so I didn't sleep that entire night. I remember being.
I
in the
remember because
hotel
I was
room.
I was in Shanghai,
I was
and you were
just-
calling from there. You're like,
I was
this
like,
is so stressful.
Everything's over.
Yeah.
And
And we also had James. So Suzhou would usually be on a Wednesday or a Thursday. So we had him the next night in Shanghai.
we had 3 shows over the
Yeah.
next 2 nights
Yeah,
in Shanghai. And the logic is, if they come in here, it means we're a national concern.
Right.
So we have to run these shows. I haven't slept all night, and back then I'm drinking, so like I'm also like pretty exhausted from everything going on.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't drink that night, but the previous 2 nights we've been on the road.
Sure.
And so anyway, we get to Shanghai, and we're running the show, and I'm standing in the bar just staring at the door because the elevator's there, and I'm just waiting for them to come in. And they don't come.
Machine guns and
Day
everything.
1, they don't come.
Yeah.
Day 2, they don't come. And we're like, okay.
That was a local problem.
It was a local problem.
Yeah.
But there's this realization that I think a lot of people have is like, especially back then, is you can feel very free in China, and you are until you aren't.
Yeah.
And then you're in China. You're definitely in China. And
when you also get to a certain level of success, like the business
That-
was successful, I would say.
you get heat.
You're living on borrowed
You
time.
get on-
That's what I learned.
Yeah, you get on lists. That's the thing is
Yeah.
you either fail because you don't make money,
Yeah.
or you make money and you fail because you draw attention to yourself.
That's right.
There's no middle ground.
There's
and
no
I
middle ground.
remember
Actually, this is basically like the advice of starting small businesses in China. That's one of your two options right now.
Yeah, well, I remember the manager of the adjacent hotel who was responsible at one point for our area.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Hey, just don't be popular."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, great. Well,
Hey, you
great
want to start a
business
business?
model."
Exactly. You want to start a business?
Yeah.
Just make enough money to break even. That's when you. But that also that kind of goes into the Chinese mentality of, just lay low. Like don't fuck with authority, basically.
Yeah, which I
Don't
get,
challenge them.
But the problem is that we.
I come from a similar culture too, so I kind of understand it, but I don't agree with it.
And so the problem is that we'd spent years developing this idea that
Yeah.
was working.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was like pretty horrific, and that was the point at which I personally started to realize that we needed to get out.
Yeah.
And it took some time after that, but we certainly, we managed to get Live Nation on board, and
Yeah.
we managed to plant all these seeds for getting out on
Yeah.
the back of that situation.
Sure.
And then fast forward to the next comedy club that we lost. So, and this is so crazy, but and you remember this, the week that we got shut down at the final venue in Shanghai,
Yeah.
I sent a message to the comics saying,
That was the
this is
the peak.
peak.
Yeah.
This is the best
Dude,
the
that
comedy
message is
clubs
still on my phone.
It's the best the comedy club's ever done. The lineup was the strongest. The
Yeah.
sales were the best. We'd peaked.
There was such the great energy of also just
Everyone
new
was
comics
so
coming through and open
motivated.
mics.
Oh, mate, it
And
was just a hot scene.
It was, and keep in mind that for the last 2 years before that, we have always lost the top comics on our lineup.
So that's the problem when you try to run a scene, is that you've got to grow faster than the transients
Yeah.
in a city like that, because people get good and they leave. And you know what? Testimony to how great that scene was. Like, how many of those guys went on to become professional comedians?
That's the point. And we were never of course it makes our job
So
a
in
little
other
harder.
scenes, people leave and they just stop doing comedy. For us, they're leaving to do comedy on a higher
because
level.
they have outgrown the club.
Yeah.
Which for us is obviously a sign of success,
Yeah.
but it's also a motivator.
It's also a sign of failure.
In China, it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So yeah, anyway, we lose that venue.
So Tuesday, I reckon I sent that message out.
And then Wednesday open mic.
They hit us
Yeah.
at an open mic, and they come in with their badges, and it was so sad because no one understood what was going on.
I literally had to go on stage and send the audience home.
They had to send them home, and they're all like, "Oh, I guess we'll see you next time." And we're like, and I'm sitting there like, "This is
Yeah,
it.
I think this is it,
guys."
yeah.
And the other thing that was sad is the death of the club, and I think I don't want to get into too much about the one now, but it's sort of like you're like, what? When is the end? You don't sort of get a moment to be like, we're finished. It's sort of, you find out it's done after it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know that this is the end, but I think that this is the end. And we really didn't know it was the end for some months after that, when I'd failed
Yeah.
to solve the problem.
Right. Yeah.
And
we
I
were
think at
also
that
given all
point-
this crazy conditions if we are to reopen.
Yeah, and people were saying that people didn't realize that it was real. And I remember when I finally changed the profile pic on the Kung Fu Comedy account to my own, because it was my
Yeah.
personal WeChat, people were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's done." And that
Yeah.
that was way after.
Dude,
it
that
had
was
finished.
pretty much after you moved here.
I think I was living in Hong Kong at that point.
It took you a whole year for you to actually get in the mental state that you
Well,
no
it's just
longer...
I realized that it was pointless
I
having
get
there.
it. No, I get what you're saying. But it is, it is frustrating. And fast forward to our situation now.
Well, then I want to add a couple of things to
Yeah.
that, because I tried to rescue it. I went and met. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about the guys in Suzhou,
Yeah.
so I gave them my WeChat. So they messaged me,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Hey, we need you to come in for a meeting."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't live in Suzhou.
Yeah.
I would have to go to Suzhou
You're
for
like,
a meeting."
coming for a meeting.
No, they said if you don't come, we'll hand you over to the entry-exit bureau.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
God damn.
So I was like, "I'm on my way."
Yeah, exactly. They're like, it's not
And
a
you know
request.
what? When you're cool with them,
Yeah.
those guys, they were pretty chill.
Yeah, I mean, none of them is like senior enough to be like the.
No, they're
intimidating.
just following orders.
Exactly,
but
that's
they
the
have
thing.
they have the capacity to screw you more than they have to.
Yeah, but I also believe in like people like this because I come from a military family. My dad is a cop, and I get the idea.
I love that you think the cop is the military, which is the
No.
most Egyptian thing ever.
It is. I was gonna say I understand the difference, obviously, but back home it's the same thing.
I get it. Yeah.
So I understand when you have that much level of authority, but most people are just good people. They're just following the rules. And when they see that you're not looking for trouble, they try their best to not fuck with you.
Yeah, like there's no point. Well,
No,
I'm not
there-
saying most people, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's this scope to get to minimize the impact.
Right. Yeah.
And they brought me in, gave me tea, and they're like, "You just can't do shows anymore."
Yeah.
And so I did the same thing in Shanghai. I went and met with them. And what I didn't realize is that the division for shutting you down is different to the division for approvals.
Yeah.
And-
Because we had a working relationship with the ones
And I was
approving the shows.
So I was told to take in Lewis,
Yeah.
a Shanghainese guy, and said, "Let the Shanghainese have this conversation,
Yeah.
because it greases the wheels." I
Yeah.
don't speak Shanghainese; I speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
And they said, "Pretend you don't speak Chinese. Let them talk in Shanghainese." So we do that, and it's not going well. So I just screw your plan. I just start speaking to him, and I was
Yeah.
like, "You understand that you're the cultural bureau, and your singular contribution in a division that's supposed to foster culture is to destroy it, and that this is such a beautiful." Beautifully unique Shanghainese thing, this scene.
This feels like a scene in a movie when you like have this whole beautiful speech.
Yeah, and they're just these
And
two idiots sitting there.
Exactly. And then
Just
it cut back to like
but we just we got the memo about it. And you know what? They even agreed with me. They're like, "We agree with you, but you know, there's nothing we could do about it, right?"
Yeah, yeah. They're like, we're just following the orders, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was a disaster. But we had already at that point set ourselves up for the riff. Actually, what was going to be called chaplains.
Yeah.
We're going to call it chaplains.
Yeah, in the like I still have the original designs with chaplains all over it.
And they said that the reason we didn't use chaplains was because they were afraid we'd get sued by the chaplain estate.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I think the riff was a better name.
Yeah, I don't like
like the
I'm,
riff as a
I'm
name.
not against it. I just think that they were smart to actually not have chaplains because obviously Live Nation is a huge company and chaplains can come after them for a lot of
Sure.
money. So
And also, it turned out the logo we'd made was apparently like remarkably similar to his signature.
oh, was it?
Yeah,
That's
was
funny.
It was quite similar, actually.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen his signature before, but that's quite
yeah,
funny.
he always signed in blue neon. So anyway, so that went down, but we already, we kind of knew that bullet was going to come at some point. We just didn't know when. So we were like, let's set it up in the safe haven of Hong Kong where nothing can go
and
wrong.
again, that was at the end of
At that
2018.
time,
Yes.
mate, in late 2018,
Yeah.
Hong Kong was a friggin' island of freedom.
Yeah, it was. Funny we're saying that literally we just lowered our voice.
I didn't.
While I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah. Because I'm like, that's how, what the situation is here right now.
So
But it's like a strange turn of events. Like just literally with the riff, it just we never really had a full chance. That's
And
the frustrating part about
there's
it.
a lot of stuff that like we were supposed to open in November 2018, and we opened for 2 small weekends in
2
January.
weekends.
Then closed until
March.
May.
No, we ran
March,
shows
yeah.
in March and then we closed again. So
We had
here's what happened.
two weekends in March.
So there was a delay after we finished constructions. First of all, because of the licenses. So there was already a delay.
Well, just getting to the point though,
Yeah.
is like we were supposed to open in November, and
Yeah.
we essentially opened in May,
Yeah,
and then we were closed again in July.
yeah,
So really, if you think about it, like what we needed was time to prove that it works.
yes.
And we were never given that. And the reason is that the liquor license took so long to come through because the police wouldn't check the venue because they claimed that they were too busy handling the protests.
Which is obviously a political move to turn you as a business owner against the protest.
Yeah,
That's what I believe in. It might be a conspiracy,
Well,
but that's what I
I'll
think.
tell you this.
Yeah.
The people that work in the police force that handle the licensing don't handle the street.
That's exactly my point. They do have
different
to work.
division.
It's a different division. But
Yeah.
because I talked to other venue owners and they all said like, oh, if I have a fight, they don't come in and they call the cops and the cops are like, oh, we're out on the protest.
Yeah.
When there was no protest at the time.
Yeah. So in any event, if we'd been able to open in November,
Yeah. It
and,
might
and
have
had
been.
a shot before COVID,
Yeah.
it might have been a different story. Also, if in July they hadn't been letting these exemptions where pilots could come in with COVID and infect the city, and they didn't have that outbreak, we would have stayed open and
Yeah,
be generating
it-
money.
It's
So-
crazy that now we're getting to a position again when we were like,
but it got to a point where it just, we ran out of candles to hold
yeah.
for the club, and
And
you know,
also, I looked at the schedule the other day, except for the 2 weekends in,
we'd sold tickets.
not just that, except for the 2 weekends in January, we never ran at 100% capacity. And the 2 weekends in January, by the way, we ran with no liquor license. So
There's no money. There's no booze coming in.
there's no boost. My point is that we never had a full chance of a whole place to show its capacity.
Forget about that. The real economically, the real money earner is when you fly in the international comedians.
Which we did.
So we
once?
flew in Will.
Yeah, that's it.
That was ran last minute.
Yeah.
We were able to open just before
Yeah.
we found out, and B, we couldn't sell any booze.
We couldn't sell.
So it was just
So the model.
it was a remarkably dense set of headwinds
and
that
people,
we ran into.
For people who are not familiar completely with the structure of the business, like we make the bulk of the money on the international tours.
That's right. Yeah.
So the rest of the month, it's local shows.
And
a
we
lot
did
of the
it
ticket money.
We're not supposed to sell that many tickets to local shows, and we sold out 6 weeks in a row at limited capacity.
Yeah.
But in the middle of no tourism,
Yeah.
people being afraid to go out, like it was remarkable.
And every time we would open again, people would be so excited to come out. And the other thing, as a venue manager, people are so excited about doing
Yeah.
shows that they are happy to comply with any restrictions.
Yeah.
At some point, I had them scan a declaration form and show and check their temperature.
Couldn't take their alcohol into the comedy
Couldn't
room.
take their alcohol into the comedy room.
Face masks.
Keep masks on the whole time, even at the show while they're laughing, and make sure that they have hand sanitizer at all times. All of that, and people are just happy to follow all the rules. That's
It's hey buddy, we'll be
sorry.
okay. Yeah,
Got a little emotional.
Yeah, but you know what? I just have a lot of confidence that this. Here's a question. I personally don't think this is the hardest part of what we've had thrown at us.
No.
Personally,
Yeah.
what do you feel like looking back over all of that? What was your low point?
It's gonna be a selfish answer because it's very personal. It's that moment when I started working with Kung Fu Comedy and I was switching my visa over.
Oh
and I
my
had
God.
about 6 months of business visa.
I thought you were about to say it was the live stream not working this morning.
That's the second lowest one. But that story is amazing because we worked with kind of a shady company, now I have to say that, who just sponsored, like people in China would know that. Like
It was a
just-
shelf company.
A shelf company, exactly.
So, but I got screwed as well. So we had visas fine for
Yeah.
years, and then they changed the rules about how you get visas, and it could only be companies that had more Chinese staff than foreign staff. Every Chinese staff member had to have full insurance paid, and then the company had to apply for a license that allowed them to apply for visas.
Yeah.
So, like, I could have actually gotten that,
Yeah.
but it was like months long process for the company to figure out, and my visa was up.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I was able to get on a spousal visa.
Dude, with that, so long story short, this shell company, whatever, sponsoring my visa, I had to go into immigration with her. I had already given her a release letter from my previous company with China Telecom, a huge, like, what is the word? National company in China. And I'm like, hey, this release letter is already over 21 days, and as per law in China you can't apply for a new visa if you're over 21 days. But I said, hey, I'm actually going to Hong Kong this weekend, I think, to look at the club or whatever I was doing. And I'm like, hey, I can get a release letter from my boss because he's in Hong Kong now. She said no need. I'm like, okay. Met my boss here, had lunch with him, never asked him for the letter. I go back to China, I go with her to immigration. She had forged the date. And then she applied the forged
Oh,
documents.
I forgot about that.
Dude, she applied the forged documents at immigration with the two of us standing there, and immediately 2 officers stand behind me.
Oh,
and
man.
I knew this is the lowest point I had in China.
I forgot about that.
Dude, in my head, I'm like, this is it. I'm getting
we
arrested
had
right now.
everything, and she just put the wrong document
She put
in.
the wrong.
She'd made herself.
She made herself really shitty forging too, like bad Photoshop, and she gave it to the immigration officer. And these 2 officers shows up behind me. I don't understand the conversation. She's Shanghainese, and somehow she managed to weasel her way out of the conversation and get me out of it. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. And then this whole thing happened, but then I couldn't work with her anymore. First of all, I didn't trust her. And second, they wouldn't let me apply again because I already have a record.
You know what?
So I ended up in Malaysia.
Well, here, just to contextualize this a little bit, we're closing the deal with Live Nation, and we think we've saved the day yet again.
Yeah.
This is yet another moment of like, we've friggin' figured this out.
Yeah.
But it's getting close to Christmas. They're taking a little long to finalize it. And we're looking at, we're like, you're not going to get your visa in time.
Yeah.
So I said, here's what you do. Just go down to, it was just late December.
Yeah.
I was like, just go down to Hong Kong and renew your business visa so you can get back in.
Yeah.
But Egyptians can't do it in Hong Kong.
So the next place is Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
And this is so funny because Mo's feeling pretty down about how this has gone. Meanwhile, Live Nation, I don't think I told you this until recently.
Yeah, you didn't.
So Live Nation are like trying to court me a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like out of the movies. Like I hadn't signed a contract yet. They invite me to speak at an event of some of the biggest promoters in the world that are their promoters.
Right.
In Hong Kong. So my new boss is like, hey, soon to be boss, is like, hey, can you come down to our meeting?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And they just sent me the details. It's like, we're staying at the W Hotel. Now, I didn't know what the W was, and I'm like, W? Just give it a letter. This is
that's a
crappy
shitty
hotel.
hostel.
What is it? I thought it was like the cheaper ass hotel.
Right.
So I get down there, and I'm walking in, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's the right place.
Right.
And they've put me in like a harbour view room.
Oh, man.
And I walk into my hotel room.
Back when Live Nation had money.
Yeah. Oh, too soon, Mohammed. Too soon.
Too soon, I'm fired. What else are they going to do?
Yeah. How long till they fuck me?
Exactly.
So Mohammed, at the same moment, is walking into the crappiest hostel in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
And he calls me, and he's miserable.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm just in my hotel. I just walked into my hotel. Where are you right now? And I'm like, I just walked into my hotel room, and I'm looking in a beautiful 5-star hotel. I'm looking across the harbour. It's stunning.
With caviar in your hand.
There are those beautiful eagles,
Oh, sure.
kites flying past the window. And I looked at it, I said,
Dorian
I'm like,
room.
I just got here. Pretty rough.
Yeah, pretty rough. I'm on the bus.
I'm just dumping the shampoo and conditioner
in your bag.
my moisturizer into my bag, some towels.
So yeah, to answer your question, that was because
No, it got worse.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, dude, I can't believe you don't remember this. So we were using a shelf company
Yeah.
to renew your visa.
Right.
Now, the thing about the shelf company is it was owned by an actual running business.
Right.
And only the boss knew about that.
Yeah.
So they put the number of the reception on
Oh, fuck. I remember that.
the application.
Yeah.
On the letter.
And then
so the friggin' embassy or the visa office in KL calls this business.
Yeah.
And is like, hi, we're looking for someone from this company name. And the woman's like, I don't know that's company name.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not
like,
us.
oh, there is an application from Mohammed. They go, we don't have a Mohammed.
we don't know about this. Visa denied. So you get denied. You're stuck in KL. You can't stay in KL. You can't leave KL.
Yeah.
Can't come back to us.
Yeah.
And miraculously,
we managed to get me a week of whatever visa.
I got on the phone with the visa office there. I said, listen, we just had some idiot. They run 2 companies out of here.
Yeah.
And somehow we got you back in.
Yeah. On like a 1-week visa.
It was like 1 week.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was enough to get you onto the working visa.
Right. And then, we managed to miraculously switch over to Live Nation.
I don't know how we got through this stuff. So crazy.
So this is definitely like almost being arrested for immigration fraud is definitely the lowest point.
Interesting, yeah.
For the record, it was not my fault.
Mate, lowest point for me was having to listen to you retell this story again.
Oh, hey, we're back on comedy. And
Oh,
you fucking
shit.
dropped.
I'm just... Oh, no, we're still on. I just kicked the friggin' Zoom off the table.
Oh, karma, everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think the low point for me was into Arc. That's when I felt like we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like even now, I sort of know that we can do it.
Yeah, because you have been through all this shit before.
And I know enough about what we do to be like, I know that I know how to make this work.
Yeah, and I think about
My
it as-
frustration is knowing how to do something I love, knowing all the people that I need to make it happen, and I just haven't had a shot at it.
Yeah, we
and
haven't
Turner
had a
and I were
shot.
saying the same thing because Turner had a horrific exit out of China, and then he got to America and he busted his ass.
Yeah.
He was really innovative. He's managing to live as a stand-up comedian in Brooklyn, which is no small feat.
No.
No mean feat. And, COVID hits.
Yep.
And
It
I
is-
know COVID's affecting everyone, but he had such a challenging run to get to that point
Yeah.
that but he's it's fucking Turner, mate. If there's
What do you-
anybody that can figure it out, I mean, he's better than any of us.
Yeah, that's true. No, I would turn up to him if I'm running out of options. Like, what would you do? And he would have something that I didn't even think of.
Sell ice cream.
What do you think? Let me ask you a question. What do you think the near future holds for us? Maybe in Hong Kong, maybe not in Hong Kong. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't want to jinx us,
Mm.
and I don't want to be too specific.
Yeah.
But I'm very committed to staying in Hong Kong. I
Okay.
really love this place. I think the scene here is miraculous. The people here, Karina and I were talking about it.
Yeah.
Garen, Mahesh, and Ryan, Vivek.
I don't know about Mahesh, but the rest of them.
I don't know what is with you and Mahesh. You brown guys can't be the same. What are you?
Yeah.
Vying for the token brown guy position?
He's like everything that I can't be except for being funny. But everything else, he's jacked. He has a great job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck this guy.
he's good at comedy.
Nah, that's not. That's definitely not it.
But and I don't want to even start now. Everyone in our lineup is amazing.
Yeah.
There's been comics that have in a way really helped them establish themselves, like Kari and
Yeah.
Ash and
Seth, like all of these guys.
Seth,
Yeah.
great
He's a
example.
beast.
Yeah. I don't think you should call him a beast, but
Beast at comedy.
he's great at comedy.
Yeah.
And great people. It's such a great vibe here.
So you want to stay?
You know that,
Yeah.
and I think that they're, I'm working on figuring that out. And if that doesn't work, there's other places we can go, but this is not enough for me to give up on what we're doing because I know we can figure it out. And I don't feel panicked. I don't know why. It was to get the call that we were fired. It felt like a movie script where the writers got lazy.
Right. Yeah.
I was like,
And you just had to cop out,
I'm
basically.
like, really?
Yeah.
That's the direction this story's going
Yeah.
in now? I'm like, okay, fine.
Right. It almost feels like writers got lazy and repetitive too.
Yeah.
It's like, let's
I'm like, guys, come on. Fucking switch
be
it up a little
creative.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But then I'm afraid of like jinxing that. It was like, be creative, and then they just arrest us. We're like, all right, can we go back to getting fired?
We all get cancer.
Yeah, so
So I don't know what the future's going to hold, but I can tell you that it's going to take a little bit more than us getting fired for me to stop doing the thing I know we can do.
and on that lovely note, I think it's time to plug the Patreon. If you want to,
If you want to give us some money, we'd
Exactly,
love
to pay
eat.
rent.
We'd love to eat this week.
yeah, we'd love to eat this week.
No, we don't have a Patreon set up. I don't know.
I do. I mean, I'm about to by the time you release that.
Yeah,
From today
alright.
to tomorrow.
Go to www.patreon.com/theothermohammed
Fuck yeah, dude! You
/ visa fraud / not as funny as Mahesh / oh my god, I had to listen to that story again /
all right. Patreon / the other Mohammed. By the time this goes up, I will set it up so I can just pay rent.
I
Here
love
you go.
how you in turn make way more money off my audience than I do.
Yeah, well, fucking go ahead and plug yours. Let's see.
All right. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. We're not done yet.
We're not done.
We got more coming, and we will figure it out. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but maybe we'll be selling ice cream. Who knows?
Or putting up content on Patreon.
But hey, so every Sunday at 11 a.m. we'll be doing live streams.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but I'm going to talk to Shannon from Podbean, and who is amazing in helping us out, and see if we can get it going.
It would be
again.
kind of funny if this podcast somehow does not
But you
get
know-
recorded.
You know what? For all my years of doing a podcast, the podcast is doing better than it's ever done.
That's
Doing
great.
Record numbers. Feel great about it, and I just want to keep this going. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.